I think as a performer, like it took a while to finally get my stage persona to be pretty close to just my real life self. But she knows, like, she's a good barometer about when something is just not, no. It's cool if you stop there. If you go one step further, no, it's not cool anymore.
Hi, I'm Lisa Joyner, wife of
TV megastar John Cryer.
Mega.
Yeah.
And I'm Morgan Walsh, married to
comedy legend and great actor Matt Walsh.
This is a podcast about what it's like when your significant other
is just a little too significant.
Welcome to Plus One.
I just have so many things in my head. All the people.
Would you like to share some of them?
Well, it's like there's people and there's things to do, and then there's animals. I have a lot of animals.
You do have a lot of. I thought I had a lot of animals. You
more.
have even more animals.
I think it's fair to say I'm not known for my punctuality.
I'm not going to confirm nor deny that. But I will say that your husband came to a party at our house not that long ago, and you weren't there. And I said, "Oh, is Morgan coming?" He goes, "Oh, I think she's going to be a little late."
And winked, gave a giant wink, like a cartoon, was like, yeah, I'm not known for my punctuality, but it's not my fault. I'm going to say it's not my fault. So I was on my way out the door yesterday, and I texted my friend and I said the words, "I am leaving now," right? Now was in all caps. I really meant it. And then I took just simply 2 steps, and I looked up and I see that our screen door to the back porch is busted open, and one of those little aluminum pieces, sort of bent. And then
scared?
I guess I should have been. I wasn't, because it's our house. I was like, there's going to be a story here,
right,
I'm sure.
Right.
But I walk out, and our puppy, we have a new puppy, and my daughter had left the bag of food out, and the puppy had ripped open the food, really made like faces or designs. It seemed like
an artistic pup.
An artistic puppy. For all the food on the porch, and ripped off the outdoor couch cushions.
That's funny that you say that.
Yes.
Because as you know, I was out of town for a little bit.
Yes.
I came back, and our puppy,
yes,
which, by the way, we have no business having puppies.
No, neither one of us do.
Neither of us should have puppies.
No.
We have other dogs, animals, and lots of other stuff. But anyway, whatever.
We say yes and to life. That's what we do. Yes and to life.
That's right. Yay us.
What happened to your puppy?
Nothing happened to the puppy.
Okay, good.
It's the carnage. So I think the puppy is mad at me for being gone because there's no other reason for the puppy to act like this. So Martha...
Other than they're a puppy.
Yeah, but she's kind of... How long are you a puppy? Until 2?
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a brain science person.
Or a vet.
Or a vet.
It's not like I'm a dog psychiatrist or anything, but the dog knows how to go pee. It's been crate trained, knows the rules of the house, I should say. Okay. I'm very consistent. So
keep going.
Why did you laugh?
No, you are very consistent. I just love that your consistency is supposed to be the antidote to a puppy's everything. It's like the puppy may do what the puppy does.
I've done everything I'm supposed to do. No. So anyway, after the dog eats, the puppy is now a dog. After Martha eats, we put her in the crate, and then she goes for a walk in about a half an hour. They say that it works through your system or whatever. Right? Dog's been known to break out of the crate a couple times. This, by the way, I'm talking about a dog that weighs, 7 pounds?
So small.
It's not a big dog.
No.
So anyway, feed the dog, put the dog in the crate, and I go out to do a little bit of exercise outside. And then when I come back in, the dog is on the couch, just looking around. I look, the crate busted open, and there's this just meandering piles of garbage and potato chip wrappers and lettuce, a salad from the night before. And then I go and I follow the trail, and it goes up, and there we have a beautiful garbage can with the inside of the liner ripped to pieces.
How did she even get up into the... We don't know.
Oh. She's a magician.
Yeah, she's a magician.
Which is interesting.
Because we have a +1 to a magician.
See how that works?
That's so good.
Really excited about Jill.
Did you magic the mess away? Were you able to?
No, I Swiffered it. That's another funny word, right?
Swiffer? It's got to be in the dictionary at this point.
Yeah.
Can I use it on crossplay or on? No, we don't know.
Tell me tomorrow.
Okay.
Jill Sipkins coming up. Hi.
Hi.
We have a very special guest today.
We are so happy to have you.
I'm so happy to be
When
here.
we chatted with you very briefly the other day, Morgan and I both said, "Oh my God, Jill Sipkins, we love her. We're gonna have so much. We're gonna have so much fun with her."
I'm so glad.
I
was very tired, and so I was hoping that I didn't come across as like very out of it, but
No, you didn't.
I'm also tired today, so it'll be the same.
We liked you then. We like you now.
Yeah, you seem great, and I was excited to just get into things with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and also the hair.
The hair.
It must be
thanks.
said, the hair is just everything.
Thank you.
And you've gotten rid of a lot of it.
I've gotten rid of a lot of it since I last saw you. Yeah.
Gotten rid of it.
Yeah. Well, usually my pattern is that I let it grow out way too long and then I chop it really short like yours,
Yeah.
which I love.
Like a French bob.
Yeah, a little, like a big change has to come. But this time I was like, I'm going to practice some restraint, just go for a little curtain bang and be done.
What's that? Practicing restraint.
I know, it's hard. I'm not very good at it most of the time, but
Well, you're off to a good start.
thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You're off to a very good start. We were excited to talk to you for many reasons, especially after chatting with you briefly. But I am a gigantic fan of your husband's because I really wanted to be a magician growing up.
No way.
And yes, and I'm really old, so like they only had magician's assistants back then that were female.
You were only allowed to assist back then, for
yeah,
sure.
and I told my dad, I was like, no, I want to be a magician. He was like, let's go.
Let's see
He'd
it.
took me to every magic show that
That's
we could.
amazing.
Yeah. So
Did you get a magic name?
The Amazing Lisa or
Okay.
something like that. I don't know. It was something stupid.
I have a friend whose kid started going by Magique.
Ooh, French. I like that.
And then
That's
went to
good.
the airport to check in, and when the TSA is like, "What's your name?" He started to say Magique, and she was like, "Don't you dare! You have to say your name."
Let's not
Say
be
your
held
actual
up.
name.
We're late for the flight. Yeah.
Well, we should say that Jill is married to Justin Willman, who is a very well-known, popular magician. He's got shows on Netflix. He does a lot of live shows.
He does. He's a touring person.
How's that for you?
It's hard. It used to be fine, and now we have kids, so it's hard. But it's good. I think we're in a season right now where the kids are little and he's touring, so that's harder. I can kind of see the light, but only because my daughter is now potty trained and not a baby anymore. So that's helpful a little bit.
Do you ever do FaceTime dinners or anything like that?
Well, it depends on where he is in the world and the time difference and stuff like that, because a lot of times when we're home together at the end of the day, he's on stage.
Right.
So we try to catch him when we can and have conversations. Sometimes in the morning over breakfast is easier, but
How do your kids feel about Justin traveling or what he does for a living? Are they into it? Do they love the magic of magic?
they do. In fact, my daughter just saw him perform for the first time at the Netflix is a Joke Fest. He did a couple of shows, and we took her one night and she was very into it, laughing along with all the jokes. I was like, really? Do you get that? Okay. She's 3, by the way. And
That's amazing.
so that was fun. And my son he has gone on a journey because he was at first embarrassed by the fact that his dad was a little bit famous. Didn't like the attention he was getting on the schoolyard, a drop-off kind of a thing, because he's very shy, but has since sort of accepted it and then now is part of the team. So
Do you think you have a little magician in training?
maybe, but he is shy. I think, we just saw his very first school performance, first grade play. And he was Toy Store Kid number 5. So not exactly like the lead.
There's no small parts. There's no small parts.
He gets a very self-aware person, has been since he was an infant. And it's interesting because I see a lot of that. I see a lot of myself in him.
Yeah.
Because I am not interested in the spotlight. No, thank you.
Welcome to +1.
Yeah. But he definitely is, he looks up to him so much that I think he kind of wants to be that way. So we'll see. We'll see.
You know what I think is interesting about this? Because when you're describing your child, when you're describing him, you're describing mine when mine was that age. Very observant, very shy, super smart, paid attention, didn't want to be in the spotlight. Actually did, when he had to do school plays, would say, "Can I do the sound?" Or, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we need a sound guy, you know.
But later on, they've watched, you guys have been modeling behavior, and you never know. It could turn, because that kind of
Totally.
happened. Yeah.
Totally. He's definitely more interested now than he's ever been. So we'll see. We'll see.
We just had an experience where our middle kid, and same, like my husband's traveling all the time, has for years, and right now is touring also. But my middle kid did a student film. He's now a junior, and he's in the cinema program at high school. And for the last many years, he's really resisted performing. He did when he was very young, then resisted it. But he directed and starred in this short film that played, and at the AMC, they got to show all their movies.
That's so nice.
He was great. I mean, he was so alive and funny, and people were like, what? I feel like the bug, a little bit of that adulation can go a long way, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
I hope
John
he
said
sees
that when he was in summer camp, this goes back a long time ago, and he still remembers it. Can't remember what he ate for lunch, but he can remember summer camp. When he was driving away to leave camp after the 3 weeks, and there were kids, girls, chasing the car going, "Bye, Johnny," and yay. And he was like, that was it. That's when I knew.
That's the bug for sure. Yeah. I will say he loves creating. Like, he loves making little movies on, an iPhone or whatever. And he and Justin have done some of that. I'll send you the links.
please.
And he's very into that. So I do think there's a difference between, wanting to make a movie and being up in front of a big audience.
100%.
So I think that might be the line for him. We'll see.
You see yourself in him. How about your daughter?
She is much more boisterous, uninhibited. She has recently discovered dance. So she recently started ballet, which I'm realizing I should have put her in from the time she could walk, because she's so into it. Wants to show off, wants to twirl, wants to be loud. So she's a little bit more on that track, I think.
I don't think ballerinas and loudness.
I know you wouldn't think that.
Wait a minute.
Not usually, anyway.
We'll see.
If you think of a dirty toddler as a ballerina, though, does that help?
The best kind of ballerina.
Yeah.
Is a dirty toddler.
You got to find your niche.
Yeah, exactly.
You knew what your husband to be did, because you guys met when he was doing his work, correct?
Correct.
Tell me that story, because I love to hear each other's, because I finished John's story and I'm like, wait, I tell this part better. I want to hear yours.
So at that time I was doing freelance photography full time, and I was shooting the Seth Rogen Hilarity for Charity the first year that they were doing it. And I shot him. So then I recognized him when we met in passing that night, but then I photographed him at another event maybe a couple months later. And I was like, hey, I know you from somewhere. And then I was like, I think I've shot you before. Oh, you were at Hilarity for Charity. And then we started following each other on social media. And then eventually he put an exclamation point as a comment in one of my thirst trap photos.
Oh.
And from there it's history.
That's how the kids do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how the kids do it anymore, but that's how the
We don't know
middle-aged
either.
people did it back then.
They didn't have social media when I was growing up.
We did have exclamation points, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Those have been around for a while.
So you knew that when you guys got involved, what your life would possibly be. I mean, somebody who had a level of fame.
Did you think ahead, though? Because I don't know that I wasn't thinking ahead or planning. I was very in the moment. Did you think ahead?
A little. I think that
I did.
his hopes. Yeah,
Of course
I think his hopes have always been for bigger and better things, and I've watched him become that person.
Yes.
Which is really cool. When we first started dating, he didn't have his own show. He didn't, and that was what he was working towards. I didn't feel, I'm okay with, I'm good at being alone.
Yeah.
And so when he would go on the road, it wasn't like, oh God, I'm not going to survive. And so it wasn't, I don't think I quite realized how much I would miss him when I needed help. And also the kids are much more aware of him being gone at this point. So that part I couldn't foresee. Yeah. Or I just didn't think about it.
There was a real learning curve about like exits and reentry.
Oh yeah.
And I remember we had a dear friend who was like, be mindful of exits and reentry because there's always like a fight right before somebody leaves and usually a fight when people come home.
Life has continued moving while you were gone. Here's all the stuff I need you to catch up on. Like, here's all the emails. Here's what here's what to look ahead to. Because this
is immediate.
Like I want him to, it's impossible, but I want him to live as though he is also here, with the mental load of it all and the kids and all of the keeping of the dates and the,
Yes.
So
is that something you're consciously doing to help him? Because I think, right, in general, women carry the mental load.
Yeah.
At least
that's great that you're doing that.
Yes.
That's a
is
boundary.
It working?
That's good.
It's working. I would say we've definitely had to have some major tweaks.
Yeah.
Where, we've gotten to a point now where he is heavier parent during the week. And I am obviously the heavy parent on the weekend. And when we cross over, it feels very easy. Like when we're all together, it feels very easy because a lot of times we're just like trading off with the role, which has worked for us as very busy working people and him being on the road. So yeah, I feel like before he was heavy weekday dad, it was a lot for me. Yeah.
Also, it's nice maybe that he's going to be gone on weekends. Like you can sort of plan, right? Is that pretty consistent?
Yeah, totally. It's very much limited to weekends. Sometimes they're very long weekends, but yeah. So that's helpful.
How did you go from photography, which it's interesting when you were talking about, how do I know you? Because that's a very intimate thing that you were doing. When you're shooting somebody, that's really intimate and you're like, you see everything, expressions, kind of what's going on in their mind. How did you go from that to interior design?
So it was a bug that bit me years before I transitioned into doing it. And I had this opportunity. A family friend of mine was like, you should do, if you're not going to go to school, which I wasn't going to do, she was like, you should do this boot camp that I did. It was for Catherine Ireland, not the model, but the designer, held a boot camp a couple times a year. And I ended up doing it. And she liked me and I stayed on and helped her. So I was just immediate sort of boots on the ground with her and got to learn from a very top level person right away, which was extremely helpful.
It's your internship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were passionate about it and you knew right away.
Obsessed.
Well, what was it? Justin told us a funny story about how when you first came over to his house, he said, at least I knew how to kind of have things together, that it wasn't like you walked into this horrible bachelor pad. Is that accurate?
It's true because he comes from a family of interior designers as well. So I don't know. I guess we magnetized to him or he magnetizes to us. But so his mom was an interior designer and his sister is now an interior designer and I'm an interior designer. So he can't escape us. But that said, I walked into his house. He loved antiques. I love antiques. His mom was big on antiques and really helped him design the house. And I was like, oh my gosh, so I feel very at home here. And so when I came in, there wasn't that much to change. There was stuff to change, but not that much to change.
Isn't that wild? Like, do we marry or do we partner with our parents in a way? Like, I thought for a long time that Matt is nothing like my dad, but then I realized, there's a ton of similarities. My dad did civil rights investigations for the federal government. He was his own boss. He traveled all the time. He wasn't a suit guy. And then I realized and it also afforded me a lot of time alone, right? A ton of autonomy, which I've recreated in adult life. And to think that Justin has interior designer mom, interior designer sister. I guess he just really wants a beautiful space.
Yeah.
He cares about a good aesthetic. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, no, that's really interesting. Who knows? I mean, I don't think when we started dating, he didn't know that was going to be my ultimate path. I mean, I probably mentioned it, but yeah, it ended up that way for sure. So
And you just fell in love at that point. You were just that's it.
Yeah.
When was that? How long ago was that?
That was a little over 11, 12 years ago.
As I was looking, not stalking or anything, but just doing a little research.
It's okay.
I love your wedding video. And my husband said to me, you sent that to me years ago, a couple years ago or whatever. And I said, oh, I did? And he said, yes. That, you know why? You guys are having fun. So often people do not have fun at their own weddings. It's just, it becomes this blur. And you guys actually look like you had a good time. Can you talk about that?
We did have a good time. And it was, I'm not surprised that you sent it to him because it totally went viral. And so it was like this blip of explosion at the time. We decided we wanted to put magic into the wedding somehow. Not a lot of magic, but just a little bit of magic at the wedding. And we decided that we would just do it with our wedding dance. And so we hired a choreographer and we put this trick at the end where I, take him back into a trust fall and then I let go and he's levitating. And it just made millions of people happy. So that was really cool. And we didn't realize that it had gone viral until we landed. We went on our honeymoon right after our wedding and we landed in Bali to like E! News being like, will you guys talk about your wedding video? We were like, what? We uploaded it to YouTube to like show the family, you know?
Yeah.
So it was pretty crazy.
Must have been so wild for people at your wedding, too. I mean,
It was. Yeah,
I don't
they
know
loved
how
it.
they did it.
They loved it.
I have no idea how they did it.
but
It's
you
just-
are
I
a
don't even
magician
know.
at
And
heart,
I did it.
Lisa.
So yeah.
Oh, say again?
You're a magician at heart.
I know,
I feel like you should
could figure
know.
it out. Yeah.
It peaked at about 12.
Okay.
I'm just saying. And then another thing is that Drunk History parody was really, first I have to say I was concerned. I was worried for you because I was like, are they drinking too much? And then I laughed my ass off.
We definitely drank too much, for sure. Yeah.
But tell us why that happened.
We, at our rehearsal dinner, wanted to tell the story of how we met. And we decided to do it in a funny parody of Drunk History.
I see this comment and notification, and it's from Justin Willman, and it's like, Justin Willman has commented on your photo. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did he say? And I go and I look, and what do I see? Exclamation point. I'm like, exclamation point? That is the most brilliant thing I've ever seen in my life. This man just said everything he needed to say with punctuation.
Our very talented friends reenacted it perfectly. I mean, the lip syncing is insane.
It was good.
And people also loved that video. So we made a second one when our son was born.
I haven't seen that one.
The story was good enough to tell because Justin almost missed the birth. I mean, he barely made it.
All right, tell me what happened.
So
How did that happen?
Yeah, so I went into very early labor, not very early, but like over a month early.
Mhm.
And I went to the doctor, and it wasn't my doctor who told me this, but his partner who said, you're not in labor. I see you're having contractions, but it's nothing to worry about. Walk it off, drink water. And Justin was like, I have a show tomorrow in Hartford. Should I go? And he was like, yeah, no problem.
So he was home with you.
Yeah.
At the
then
time.
left
He left on a red eye to go to Hartford, Connecticut.
across the country,
The farthest place you can go.
as far as you can go.
And as soon as he landed in Hartford, I talked to him and I said, you have to come back. This is happening. I was up all night having contractions thinking he told me I'm not in labor, but it really feels like I am.
Yes.
And by the time I was going to the by the time I got to the hospital, I was already 5 centimeters. It was like time to go, time to stay there. He, at that point, could not get another direct flight home from Hartford that day. So he had to Uber to Boston and then fly from Boston.
I just pictured John Candy next to him, like in planes, trains, and
That's
automobiles.
exactly what it was. I mean, pretty much, yeah. Yeah. So
When did he arrive?
he arrived, it was around 6:30 p.m. when he landed. He, on the plane, he called in a favor because he had just a couple weeks before that done a show for the sheriff's department. And he was like, hey, any way that anybody can get me to Cedars really fast. And I believe he asked for a helicopter and they were like, no.
But
And
shoot
he was
for the
like,
stars. Why
but
not?
I can give you an escort. So they picked him up at the curb and they like put the sirens on and got him to Cedars. And within maybe a half hour, Jack was born.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Wow.
I mean, it was very cinematic. I
Yes.
mean, he came running into the room. It was insane.
I just pictured him running in and then getting more attention than you because he's made it.
Everyone cheered. Like nurses were cheering. Everyone was like on the edge of their seat. Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, but you need the applause. You're the one having the
I was
baby.
holding a baby in my birth canal
Yeah.
for like 6 hours.
Right.
For him.
We can do this.
Ugh, the things plus ones do.
I know, right? Come on.
Amazing. That's incredible.
never been the same.
So it must have been anticlimactic with your child, the second one. Was there a big story there?
Yeah. Well, there is actually a story there.
Okay.
So
Do tell.
well, so I was not able to have a second child. Lots of questions I can answer about that and my pregnancy and all the things that went wrong. But I was not able to have a second child. So we ended up doing surrogacy for our second. And that was a whole experience in itself. There was no edge of your seat moments, luckily, but it was incredible to meet our surrogate Katie, who absolutely became one of my very best friends. She's like in the auntie role now and very close with her whole family. And she carried Rosie, and I got to be in the like dad position during the birth, which like felt out of body almost, like, oh my God, is this what they just get to like witness?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's a fascinating position to be in, though, because you've gone through it. And that bond that you must have. I mean, I have a kind of similar situation. I chose adoption for my child. So I was there with my child's birth mother the whole time.
Oh, wow.
And
You were at the birth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I was at every doctor's appointment. Yeah. So
Amazing.
I was, yeah.
Yeah. So
I was
it's same. I mean, same thing.
and that feeling of the care and love that you feel for that person, it's really hard to describe if you haven't been in that position. I'm still very, very close to her. You know, we send Mother's Day gifts back and forth and stuff.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
What did, if you don't mind talking about it, what did happen in the first labor that you had?
So a couple of things. So I'm a type 1 diabetic. So we think maybe that has something to do with all the complications that I had. But I also had an accreta. So my placenta, like, essentially there's just so much scar tissue in there from the placenta growing through the wall of my uterus. Like they were not able to get it out even with a follow-up surgery after the birth. So there's just it's kind of trashed.
It's like a rocker in a hotel room.
It's like, don't even go in there. It's a mess.
It's like the Rolling Stones were in there.
Yeah, correct.
You just kind of slid in the diabetes thing. And how long ago were you diagnosed?
I was actually a late diagnosis. I was diagnosed when I was 19. It was my freshman year of college.
Easy time for everybody.
Just an easy time for change, you know? You know, like, just taking the hits.
And being responsible for yourself
For
and
yourself for the
everything.
first
Yeah.
time.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Which is why I think it took me a little while to get diagnosed, because I was sort of chalking everything up to I'm hungover, I'm drinking, you know, I'm eating bad food, I'm not sleeping, I'm drinking enough water, all of these excuses. And then I had like a little procedure, like a little surgery done. And when they were doing the blood work, they were like, oh, your sugar's really high. I went, you know, after the surgery, I went to endocrinology and they diagnosed me with type 2, which turns out is like kind of the opposite disease of type 1. Type 1 is an autoimmune disorder.
Thank you for educating us. I appreciate
that's okay.
that. Yeah.
Most people don't know the difference, and that's very normal. But so type 1 is an autoimmune disorder where your body attacks its insulin producing cells, and so you stop making insulin. And then type 2 can be genetic. It can, there's a lot of factors to getting type 2, but basically when you're type 2, you make insulin, but you don't use it as well.
So you have too much.
So you have it, you're just not absorbing it and using it as well. So once I give myself insulin, my body uses it. So I have a pump, I have a continuous glucose monitor, so I know what's going on. And I'm fortunate enough to live right now when like those two things will talk to each other and are constantly saying, you need less insulin, you need more insulin. And obviously I'm involved too, but it's much easier than it was even when I was diagnosed at 19. So I was initially misdiagnosed type 2 because they were like, you're an adult. You must have type 2. And I was in my sort of, they call it a honeymoon period, where I wasn't fully not making insulin yet. And so it was confusing. And once I stopped making insulin, they were like, oh, no, you're type 1. And got on insulin replacement therapy and felt better instantly.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. So what were the initial triggers when you went, okay, it's not just the way I'm eating or I'm drinking or whatever? What happened to you?
So again, I was lucky enough to not be in a coma when I was diagnosed with this. So the things that I was feeling that I tell everyone to look out for, especially in their kids, because you would say, oh, they're just sick, they have the flu, whatever. Intense thirst. Thirst that cannot be quenched.
Yeah.
And therefore you're peeing all the time. So I was noticing that like I could drink it felt like a gallon of water and not be quenched. And then I'd be up multiple times a night peeing. That was my body just trying to rid itself of extra sugar the only way that it could. You're also nauseated because your sugar is high. And so oftentimes you can be like, think you have a stomach bug or something, and then end up, with a very high blood sugar in a coma. What else? I feel like the thirst and the peeing, if like ever that's happening with your kids where like they can't get enough water, straight to the ER.
That's it.
Or yourself.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Another thing we're realizing, I work with the organization that raises a lot of money for this disease. So I'm like,
What's it called?
It's called Breakthrough T1D. And actually Justin has been very involved in helping out with it. I've chaired the gala the last 2 years and he has been the host. And last year we raised $1 million. So we're very excited about
That's
that.
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. But a lot of adults have been diagnosed post-COVID. Because I think we
interesting.
still don't know a lot about COVID, but apparently it can turn on an autoimmune disorder that you're prone to getting.
Interesting.
That happened in my family.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
So if you're an adult, don't ignore the signs. Even though they used to call this a childhood illness, but it's like anyone can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an equal opportunity
It's an
offender.
equal opportunity destroyer. Yeah.
You seem like you manage it fairly well now. If you can think back to that time, how did you ever have that, why me? Or how did that impact you?
I think at the time I was still when you're 19, you're basically 16. You know what I mean? I wanted nothing more than to be just like everyone else. Like I wanted to not show that I had this disease. I didn't want to talk about it really. I just wanted to learn how to do it quietly and not have it make me different in any way. I think that was my main prerogative, to the point where my dad, who is a doctor and was very concerned about me, was like, you should come home for a semester and figure out how to do this here with me, the doctor, you know? And I was like, no, I'm going to stay at school. I'm going to figure it out. And I was scared to do that, but I also felt like I had no choice because going home and not going to school would have made me even more different. And
That's true.
you know, like I didn't want anyone to pity me. I didn't want to feel weak. I didn't want to, all of those things were very important to me at the time. And like looking back, I feel sad for her for having to feel that way because I'm sure I would have had support. And I did, you know, but I was so focused on it being no big deal that like I got really bad grades that semester and I had never been a bad grade person. Like I was like a straight A girl in high school. And this was like,
It's got to come out somewhere.
yeah, it's going to come out somewhere. And so I think I was just a little bit lost for a while and trying to figure out how to be this new version of myself that wasn't firing on all cylinders, you know, like I think, I don't know how you guys were, how you experienced, you know, growing up. But for me, it was like, I wanted to be a people pleaser. I wanted to get good grades. I wanted to do well in sports. I wanted to have friends, you know, like I wanted to be top.
All things
Yeah,
to all
you
people.
know.
you believed in perfection. You
Totally.
really wanted that.
I
Yeah.
wanted everything to be good and right. And so this was like a big hit to that system that I had made up, you know?
For sure.
And so that took some adjustment for sure. And now as like an actual adult, I can see how like just sad that was that I felt that way and that I didn't feel like I could be myself fully.
There is such a standard we hold ourselves to, I think.
Oh, totally.
We just,
Oh, and more so than we do. I would never talk to you the way I
Ever.
talk to myself. I would never.
Oh,
you
100%.
know, I mean, I don't do that
100%.
anymore. That's
Yeah.
the beauty of getting to be my age. It's like, oh, we don't do that anymore. I love me. You know.
we really love ourselves here.
You know, I'm getting there too, and I can feel it. It's really
Yeah.
good.
It's
Yeah.
a really good place
Yeah.
to be.
I feel like something. I turned 40 this year, and I feel like something sort of just relaxed in me.
Yes.
Like, oh my gosh, let's just stop with all of the like, you know, let's just like step away for a second and like focus somewhere else. The
Yeah.
energy that I'm putting into
People pleasing.
Yeah.
And I think it's really hard when you're in the position of a +1 because you're a facilitator in so many ways of whatever your partner or best friend or whoever it is, the headliner, what you're facilitating for them, whatever they've got in their life, you're trying to also manage
Yours.
your own. And I really held on with a death grip to anything that I associated as my own identity. I really like fought to keep it, but that it's still, I guess it meant that I had to show up to things not quite as much as I would have if I was unencumbered, you know?
Right.
And I'm sure like you have a successful business and a partnership and young children at home and you're managing this illness. You know, that is a lot.
It's a heavy lift.
It is a heavy lift. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We see you.
Thank you.
We
You guys are
do.
going to make me cry, okay?
Yes, it's okay.
It happens every show.
It happens every show, and it's a good place to be. We've talked to some people about just that's why we wanted to do this show because the people that you don't properly see, first of all, are fascinating, but they do so much. I mean,
I'm sure you guys feel this, but you are spinning all the plates behind the scenes and you also feel like you have to be part of the facade.
Yep.
So you're trying to work back here and up here at the same time and keep this sort of, I won't call it a brand, but it's like, it kind of is,
yeah.
looking great, you know?
That was something Justin said that really hit home with me about you. He said that he loves to run everything by you because you're like the number one bullshit detector, you know?
And also he knows that you know him better
and
than
no
anybody.
one's more invested in
I
him
will
looking
not let him
good.
down easy. It will be right in the face. Yeah.
Because how he does is how you do. you know, there is this like collective motivation for him to do well.
There's also this thing with magic where it's inherently cheesy. Magic is cheesy.
We were talking about cringe.
Yeah, and cringy.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm like, all right, if I even feel the slightest cheesy cringe feeling, it's done. It's off. Like it can't be. We have to be always self-aware, a little bit maybe like making fun of ourselves all the time, just to make sure people know that you're not taking yourself too seriously, because there's nothing worse than like a serious magician, you know?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Having kids is a little tricky because we've talked about it. Like if you go to a red carpet thing and your kid just happens to be with you, they'll mow them over to get to the headliner. So I don't know what your experience is.
Yeah, you know, actually the kid thing is interesting. I feel like there's this line between like, do you show your kids on social media? Do you not show your kids on social media? And we've been very laissez-faire about it. And I'm sure that, you know, there's part of me that's like, we should just stop. At the same time, Jack loves to help Justin, and Justin has been like putting some of that stuff on social media, making, you know, Jack his little partner to like promote a show or something. And I think I'm fine with it. I just don't know if, you know, is my kid later on going to be like, why did you put me on social media? You know, so I struggle with that kind of stuff for sure.
It's a Wild West.
Yeah.
It's hard to know what the
like
consequences
where the
will
line
be.
should be and whether that's okay. And, you know, I try not to post them too often, but I do post their faces on social media, which seems like some people are just like, absolutely not. And I totally see why, you know. But ask me the question again, because I don't think I answered.
Well, that's okay. You got to another great point. But I just want to know if you there's an experience that stands out to you as being a plus one.
Lately, I'll just like step back if we're on a carpet. And if they pull me in, that's fine. And if they don't pull me in, that's also fine. I think I used to have more, I used to be more upset about it. Like, we're a unit and they should take our picture together. And I just like don't care anymore. Yeah. Which is very freeing. You know, like I'm like, I don't need this at all. Like I also don't need like this outfit that I don't love to be immortalized on Getty Images. You know, like I don't need that. So I think that more often than not now, I will just sort of like let him do the carpet. And if we want a picture just because we both are feeling ourselves, we'll do it. But I'm definitely not like upset about it anymore. You know, I think that it's just changed from how much I care to be I just don't care to be in the spotlight. And I'm like totally owning that now, which is fine. You know,
sometimes I think it's the way that celebrity leaks in ways that aren't typically showbiz, like Justin showing up at the last minute to your birth and people being like on the edge of their seat for his arrival.
Oh, totally.
That's to me, I've had so many of those smaller moments where I'm like, my mom is really excited to talk to Matt about something. And I'm like, I am your daughter. Like it's those kind of things too.
I had that with my brother. Yeah. He was just, can I talk to John? Okay, sure.
Hello.
Yeah, like actually my grandma called me the other day and she's like, this call is for Justin. And I was like, hi grandma, love you too. Like, okay, thank you. And, you know, she just wants to tell him that like her eye doctor saw his show and really loved it, you know? Yeah.
One time there was like a clip of both Matt and I from a movie on the Today Show or something, like a big national morning show. And my mom was like, Matt was on the Today Show on the thing. And I was like, yeah, so was I. And she's like, yeah, it was just for a second. And I was like, oh my God. Come on. Like, what can you do?
We get it. We get it from everybody.
But I don't care. Like, deep down, I laugh. Like, it all makes me laugh. And I don't care either. Like, I deeply, deeply do not care. But I am invested in him doing well. Like
100%. Like last week was very busy with the Netflix Fest, and I was going with him to all of these things, even when I was busy and wasn't super convenient for me, because I know how it's hard to go to that stuff alone.
Yes.
You know, like I don't want to go to that. I don't want to go to stuff alone either. And so, you know, like we went to the that big Ted Sarandos brunch where I don't know if you saw the picture of like every comedian you've ever seen, which was very cool to be there. But he was like, I was like, how long are we staying? And he was like,
These are familiar questions.
TikTok, my friend.
Like, we just have to go, and you have to come with me. And I was like, okay, we'll go.
We have a little thing. It's like, okay, is this going to be a drive-by?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what we're going to do.
I know.
The whole thing planned out.
Like, what's our heart out? Come on.
Yeah. So we got the opportunity to talk to your husband just for a short bit. And I'd love to show you a little bit of what he said.
Sure.
Okay.
One thing that we want to know about is the origin story of you and Jill.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. So I met Jill, well, we didn't even meet, but we at least became aware of each other at the first Hilarity for Charity, Seth Rogen's Alzheimer's benefit, 14 years ago. And she was photographing it. She was a photographer then. I was performing at it. And, she was kind of shooting red carpet and then shooting the show, and remembered, watching my set. And I remembered seeing a super cute photographer and started following each other on Twitter after that. But we were both in relationships, but I think, innocently, they're cute. And then like a year and a half later, we crossed paths at another event. She was like, I know you. And I was like, I know you. And then we were single then. And then magic happens. And then, love ever since. I got a magic kit when I was 7, and I was like, I want to be a magician. And then you start reading these instructions that are poorly written, and it's hard. You're like, oh, forget this. And also when you're a little kid and you discover magic, you don't know that it's all a trick. And then you kind of become a little disenchanted about this thing you loved. When I was 12, I broke my arms riding my bike. My doctor recommended card tricks to get my dexterity back. I flew over the handlebars and tried to catch myself like this, and then snap. So magic it had a practical purpose at first. And I had the attention span for it then, and I just got hooked and, have done it ever since.
When have you felt like a plus one to Jill?
Often. And I do love being a plus one. She's a brilliant interior designer, and she has been for years, but she was kind of a one-woman operation for a little while. And so before she had like an assistant and a team, I would help her out for installs where I'd be lugging furniture in or helping her hang stuff at clients' houses and stuff. And like I'm grunt. I'm just her dude there. And I love that. Yeah. And I love going to, design things and hangs with her, or helping her out on a Facebook marketplace pickup, like I'm a plus one there. And I love design. Like, I think we first bonded, at least when she came over my house. She's like, oh God, he at least has some taste, and so, like we can cohabitate. This is going to work out. It's not going to be a struggle. So I do love being a plus one. I love not being on, you know what I mean? Like, just being on is exhausting. I mean, I think as a performer, like, it took a while to finally get my stage persona to be pretty close to just my real life self. Like, me on stage is just me, well rested and caffeinated, like a turned up version. But being on is still, a bit exhausting. And so it's nice to just kind of be in the background. She's the quarterback for sure. Or if we're using a sports analogy, she's kind of like the manager of the fam. And the more decisions we make together, which really is just me often agreeing with her take on things, the happier and harmonious our family is. But I couldn't do any of the things that I do if it wasn't for her kind of keeping the sanity. And it's her career has gotten more full on and busy and in demand, and she still manages to, keep things together. My job involves a lot of traveling, which, sucks. And moderation has been really, really important. I travel, maybe 2, sometimes 3 weekends a month. And then I'm back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but then I'm gone. So, it's tough because I'm frequently gone during the weekend, which is when there's no school, no childcare, no structure, and chaos can ensue. And, she has to keep it together then. So that can be really, really difficult. Yeah. I don't know if it's the same in acting and in comedy, but like with Magic, she's very much my reality check and cringe check on everything I do artistically as well. Like, like there's a lot of things that can be cringy in the world of magic. And she is just hip enough to like she's seen a lot of magic, but she still likes it. She enjoys an occasional night at the Magic Castle, but she knows like she's a good barometer about when something is just not no it's cool if you stop there. If you go one step further, no, it's not cool anymore. Like I check in with her on everything. I mean, she's the most trusted advisor because no one is more invested in you not looking like an idiot than your wife. And she knows what I can do well, and also maybe when I'm stepping outside of my skill set, because there's plenty of people to tell you, you'll be amazing at this thing. You should try this. And she will very much rein it in and be like, yeah, you're not, you're good at acting as yourself. You're not, you're going to embarrass yourself if you do that thing. So it's great. Like her notes on a show are like the gold standard. Her take is great, and if she says something's great, I know I can stop worrying about it.
What I'm obsessed with is they did a drunk history based on how they met. And it is so good, so well done. And also, when they got married, they did this wedding video. It's very special.
We did a spoof. Yeah, we did a little IP theft. Getting married and our wedding was such a just a fun, like creative, exciting outlet for us. It's kind of the first big thing you produce together. Is your wedding, and we very much did it collaboratively and together. We did working on our first dance and what we're going to do for that together. I found that to be so therapeutic because you can be so scattered and separate and busy. Just to come together and check in, it was so nice. But we wanted to make a video for the rehearsal dinner, and we knew that we would get asked 1,000 times the first question you asked, which is, how did you meet? And we thought, instead of telling that story 1,000 times, let's make a funny video. And I thought it might be fun. I mean, this was peak drunk history fame, so thought it'd be fun to do a parody of that. When you go to a magician's wedding, I'm sure you're thinking, is there going to be any magic in this wedding? And there are so many ways that could be cringy. Oh, does he make where's the ring come from? Oh, they're doves, lame. So we thought in the first dance, it'd be cool to do some magical surprise. So, there was a trick I was working on where I could kind of levitate backwards in this impossible position, almost Matrix style. So how cool would it be if Jill like dips me at the end and lets go and I'm floating there? And then found the perfect song, and then we practiced that for weeks. And I think it's the most viewed first dance on YouTube. No big deal.
If you were to introduce Jill, like at a Lifetime Achievement Award ceremony, how would you do that?
She's my best friend, my best collaborator. She's my hero. I think she's always the coolest person in the room. She's so charming, and she can make friends with anyone, anywhere, but she's also such a humble, brilliant artist with an amazing eye and an incredible mom. But then she has this secret superpower that I think she has type 1 diabetes. She's was diagnosed when she was 18. And, so she has this kind of like secret daily struggle that you would never know is going on. And, she carries this weight of, juggling insulin and the mathematics of it and just, this health thing. And she does it so effortlessly that it's very easy to take it for granted. But, the fact that she can do what she does while also kind of managing her health so well and dreaming big and just being a primo wife and an incredible mom and an amazing, I think, skilled artist who's making people's homes more beautiful and wonderful. Please welcome Jill Sipkins.
Aw, that's so sweet.
How does that make you feel when you do
He's
that?
so good at puffing me up. So nice.
It's nice when you have a spouse that how long have you been together?
Let's see, like 13 years ish.
It still puffs you up.
13 years. He still puffs me up after 13 years. That's really, he does. That was very sweet.
Yeah. I get choked up.
I know, I do too. By the way, she cries all the time.
I do cry at everything.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make my tears less.
No, not at all.
Genuine.
I was not demeaning your tears. We like to sort of kind of come to a close of the show by asking you a specific question. Would you like to ask?
Sure. So if you're +1, if Justin was not available, and you could pick any person, living or dead, to be your +1, who would that be?
Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Any person living or dead. Okay, a couple people came to mind off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to choose between them.
You can say both. +2.
Okay. One would be my mom. She's just she's my I really scored in the mom department. She's just so easy to be around, knows what I'm thinking, knows what I need without me saying it, is helpful, is sweet, is self-aware, is not cringy.
A lot of times they say the people that you're so enamored by is partially because the way they make you feel. How does your mom make you feel special and seen?
Oh, all the time. And I think part of that is just that she shows up, and that's what I need. I just need, and that's how I remind myself to do that too. It's sort of like, oh my gosh, like when someone just shows up, oh my gosh, I don't know how that feels to other people, but like when she just walks into my house uninvited, I'm like, thank God, like I'm so excited that she's there. And the kids just love her, and we're very lucky. And my dad too. Okay. Yeah. I love my dad's awesome. But she is the first person that I thought of. Yeah.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
And then how would Justin is known for his magic and his stage presence and stuff. How do you want to be known?
That's a great question, because I feel like I'm at this point in my life right now where I'm wearing a lot of hats. I'm wanting to be a really, really good mom. I'm wanting to have, get somewhere in my career, and it does feel like I'm getting there. I'm wanting to show up for my friends. I'm in this classic cliche wanting to, like I said when I was in freshman in college, like wanting to be showing up as my best self in all of these different positions. And it is actually impossible to do them all at the same time. But my goal is to do my best in all of those areas. I feel like I fail a lot, but I'm also constantly trying to make up for it. I say sorry a lot.
But what you said, you could stop that sentence before I'd still keep trying.
I do keep trying.
You can just keep trying.
I do keep trying, because I really feel like I have no other choice. That's what I want. I want to be as present as I can in all of these areas. It's very, very, very difficult and impossible, but it is the goal. So I would hope that I would be known for, selfishly, I want to be a little bit more successful in what I do, but I also I want my kids to be sitting in a podcast one day and be like, I want my mom to come with me as my +1, So those two things. And obviously I want to be a good friend, a good wife, I can't choose.
You don't have to.
That's
you don't
okay.
have to.
I just like to ask that question because it really makes you sort of stop and think for a second.
Yeah, for sure. I feel very fortunate right now. I feel like, things are busy and hard, but I really am in like a sweet spot where I feel like I do have a pretty decent balance. It's not great. It's not perfected. But I feel like I'm at a good place to keep building in all of these places where I want to build. And I'm fortunate fortunate enough to be able to do that. And so I'm excited. Like I'm busy and stressed, but I'm excited. Which is, you know, like what more can you ask for? You know, so I feel pretty good. Yeah.
That's great. And scene. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It was such a pleasure, wasn't it?
Such a pleasure.